Hey guys, so in today's video I wanted to talk about dealing with insecurities when you're first posting your art online and some things that you can do to kind of deal with those insecurities. And also I wanted to say that I'm sorry about my voice if it sounds really weird. I was just sick and yeah, it is a little bit strange. And just before I begin this video, I wanted to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And if you are unaware of what Skillshare is, it's an online learning community for creators with more than 15,000 classes in design, photography, art, entrepreneurship, marketing, all that kind of stuff. And with premium membership, you can take a class, and each class is a project that was assigned by the teacher. You can upload your project, and the teacher can actually even look at your project and critique it and tell you some of the high and low points of it. And so it's very useful because of the feedback. And you can even teach a class yourself if you'd like to. And premium membership is as low as $10 a month, and you can get access to all of the classes. And so you can also download the app and download classes to view offline if you have premium membership. So just to go along with this video, if you are interested in any classes that I recommend, there's a bunch of classes on starting a small business, marketing, posting successfully on Instagram and online, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of good art talk classes. If you are interested in the website, I have a free 2-month trial link down in the description as well as the code, and so you can check Skillshare out if you'd like to. You can get 2 months free. Try out the website and let me know what you think of it. I really like it. So I'm going to just use Instagram as an example of where to post. You can use any social media you want to, but I'm going to be talking about Instagram just because that's where I started. And also I'll be referring to successful artists, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about artists with 500,000 to 1 million followers, or people with gallery shows, or people who sell paintings that are worth thousands of dollars, that kind of successful artist. So first off, you have to choose a platform. And as I said, I recommend Instagram, and people check it very often, and it's very casual. It's not like a hassle to get on Instagram to see what people post. It's just easy to be on. Also, the art community on Instagram is super friendly, and most of the time it's pretty mature and supportive. I didn't get a negative comment when I first started posting for a couple of months, and I think the first negative comment I ever got was a troll, like a creep, or it was a kid. I'm not 100% sure, but generally I don't really get hate comments on Instagram. The most negative comments I ever get on Instagram are from kids, who are honestly too young to be on Instagram, or, guys with no lives who live in basements and they decide to judge everybody else. So in general, it's not very negative. Maybe I'm just lucky in general, but I haven't seen a lot of mean things on Instagram on other artists' accounts, unless people are really terrible or in general just jealous, and that happens on really large and popular accounts. So the first tip about posting your art is to start off small. Don't worry about posting huge finished pieces or masterpieces, because if you start off that way, it's kind of going to set a precedent for you to just keep posting that kind of thing, and it's just going to be super stressful. So don't put a lot of pressure on what you post. I would suggest the first couple of things that you post should be things that you're happy with, but not that take so super long to make, or they're super out of your comfort zone. Something that you're comfortable with and something that you're proud of, but you can kind of put that thing out with more ease, That's what I started to post when I started my Instagram, and it didn't set a precedent to have all my posts be oil paintings or something like that. Another thing is, if you are going to be using Instagram, I don't recommend turning on the business profile when you do begin. I have one solely for the purpose of the email button in my bio, but other than that, I never check my insights. They're really discouraging to look at when you compare the amount of people who have seen your post versus liked or interacted with it. That's just useful if you're looking at your account in strictly business marketing professional level, but don't look at it if you're going to be looking at it super personally, and you're going to think about why so many people looked at it but they didn't actually like it. So I don't do that. I wouldn't recommend you turn on your business profile unless you really want to use it for a strictly a business marketing level. The next thing is, few likes or follows don't mean you're bad at art. It just means that people don't know about you yet, or maybe you're not too terribly good at the marketing or using hashtags. So if you've noticed that your posts are not doing too terribly well even though you keep posting regularly, look at certain successful artists who use kind of the same mediums that you do, and look at the kind of images they post and the quality of them. Do they scan their drawings? Do they take lay flats? Or, what kind of filters do they use? How are they edited? That kind of thing. And just try to keep your images to be as good quality as possible, because if you post bad quality pictures of your art, people are not really gonna follow you. I know this from experience because my brother, who is a really, really good artist, he has an Instagram account as well, and he stood at the same amount of followers for such a long time because I think personally he kept posting really bad quality pictures of his art because he didn't edit the lighting, the contrast of the drawing and the saturation and all that, and it just looked really bad. So the quality of what you post can also affect your likes and follows. Just try to keep it aesthetically pleasing, and that can affect how people will respond to your art. Next thing is, don't worry about negative comments. So oftentimes, as I said, they're trolls, or people who are unhappy with themselves, and they just have to make sure you're unhappy too. Internet bullies are the same as people who bully you online. You don't want those people in your life in person, so you don't want them online. If you read negative comments, either delete them, or if there is some positive aspect to them, such as constructive criticism of your art, then take that with a grain of salt, but don't take it to heart. It's your account and you're sharing your art. You're not doing anything offensive, so if somebody has a problem with that, they can leave. And the next thing that I think is really important is, especially with my personality type, I'm an introverted, more insecure person, and so I sometimes still do this. I try not to anymore, but I did this a lot more when I first started out, and I see a lot of younger artists doing this as well. I think it's not good to put down your art when you post it. I think people point out some of the faults in their art just to show that they are aware that they're there and don't want to encourage comments that will point out the flaws, but a lot of times it comes off as insecure and that you're not happy with your art, and that kind of serves as a catalyst for people to say what good things they see in your art. And for me personally, I always see those comments as if they're just pity comments, even though I'm sure a lot of times they're not. But to me, just because I feel like I'm fishing for compliments, I'm gonna say something negative and it's just to get attention. And so I'm not saying that you're like that at all. I'm just thinking that this is what I subconsciously kind of do, and I don't really like the quote-unquote compliments or nice things people say about my art when I put it down. So yeah, just try to not put down your art. Don't post things that you're clearly unhappy with, but try to show the positive aspects of what you're doing and working on, and show the improvement that you're going through. You can say that you're practicing, working on something, but don't be negative about your art, because that'll affect the way people see your art as well. It's going to discourage people from wanting to check out more of your account. Constantly stating what's wrong with your art is going to discourage people who are seeing your art, and it will discourage yourself as well. So try to keep a positive atmosphere. People will want to see more of your account and your art. If you're a happy and encouraging person, I like to see encouraging things on my feed, things that make you smile, not things that will depress you or make you feel terrible about yourself or somebody else. And so all of us are learning, and the only difference between artists is the amount of time that they've been working and learning. Nobody can judge you, because even the most amazing artists have been at the same level as you are. So just be persistent and take little steps toward improvement. I'm sure that no other artists who are way better than you are going to look at your art and judge you because they've been in the exact same place as you have. It's admirable when you can have thick skin and just push through all of that. Also, the grass always looks greener on the other side. You can look at a lot of successful artists and feel discouraged because they seem like they have it all together. But everybody posts their best self online. Everybody's occasionally unhappy and frustrated with what they create, but successful artists will suck it up and just keep working towards their goals. So just try to keep a positive atmosphere and don't let yourself be too discouraged, and push through it, because it'll be fine in the end. Also remember that every artist goes through the same phases of discouragement and insecurity about their art as you have. Everybody has their own little complexes and things that they think are horrible about themselves and their art, but other people won't see as such. So don't point out things that you think are wrong with your art, because some people might not even think so or see that kind of thing in your art. Also, if you find a couple of artists buddies that you can direct message privately and you can send art between, they can tell you what they like about it, what they don't like, that kind of thing, that can also be very encouraging before you actually post your art publicly. So you can find art friends with people who follow the same accounts that you do and seem to have the same interests as you do. You can direct message them and just, ask them if they want to be friends, if they want to share art with you and all that kind of thing. But I think that if you want to post your art online and are just insecure about how people will respond, don't worry about it. Take it slowly and lightly. Don't post anything super huge and just have fun with it. If in the end you see that it doesn't work out for you, you can stop posting your art, but I just recommend that anybody start posting their art. There's no harm in that, and you can encourage people who are the same skill level as you or even less than you. I think it's a good idea. If you want to post, please do. Also, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the painting that I'm painting. I painted it in about 6 hours, I think, in Krita with my Wacom Intuos Pro tablet that was very kindly sent to me by Wacom, so thank you so much. I'm sorry about the weird video quality. I tried to record it with the regular screen recorder that I use, but it wasn't working for some reason, even though I restarted my computer a couple of times, so I had to use another one, and yeah, the quality is not as good, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you do like this drawing, I will actually have prints and goodies on my Society 6. It'll be listed right under the Skillshare link in my description, and also please check out my description for any information that you want to know, links to my social media, and any things that I want to discuss that I didn't mention in this video. But yeah, please check out Skillshare if you have the chance and you want to try something new. If you want to, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every single Sunday, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!